All right, now let's take you back to Cape Town, where a joint parliamentary sitting is debating President Cyril Ramaphosa's State of the Nation address, and he's taking flack for declaring a state of disaster and announcing a special minister of electricity. Let's go to senior reporter Aviwe Mtila, who'll just give us the latest in terms of what he's heard in Parliament today. Aviwe, quite a lot of secrets coming out there between the EFF and the police minister as well during this particular debate. But tell us some of the important things that have been said by different political parties, especially around our energy crisis.
Well, I guess that's one of the biggest talking points that we've seen throughout the proceedings of today, where the EFF came out guns blazing when it came to the Minister of Police. He says that he's ineffective, and in fact, the police, the higher leadership of the police, are in cahoots with your criminals, with your drug lords, with your cash in transit people and gangs, with various members of the criminal fraternity, which then enables crime to be rampant in the country. In fact, they went on to be more personal, accusing him of serious allegations, saying that the police minister, knows about the hit. In fact, was one of those that was basically in cahoots with the criminals when it came to the allegations around the hit, when it came to the EFF Deputy President in KZN, Floyd Shivambo. Of course, Minister Pekitele came onto the podium also defending himself, but one of his utterances when it came to especially Julius Malema, the leader of the EFF, was that while they both were raised by grandmothers, his grandmother taught him not to go after pigs when they take a banana away and play in the mud, saying that he is not going to engage them further in these allegations. But that's just one of many myriad of issues that have been painted out here for the 12 members of parliament that we've had for the majority of the day, whether it came to issues of crime, rising unemployment raised, for example, by your John Steenhuisen, the leader of the DA, saying that unemployment has risen from 36% to 43% in the country, and in fact says that while there were talks of 9 wasted years under the presidency of Jacob Zuma, the presidency, last 5 years under President Cyril Ramaphosa, has been a disastrous one. But we've also heard Minister in the presidency, Mondli Ngubele, come in the defense, of course, of the president, saying that where the DA governs, and that's where we are at the moment in the Western Cape, it's not all rosy. He says that while they cater effectively for the city of Cape Town itself, you need to go, for example, in your townships and see the governance there and see the state of the shambles and the rubble that people actually live in there. So he's saying that it's not benefiting everyone in the Western Cape. If you live in town, you'll be more catered for the person than the person, I beg your pardon, that lives in your townships. Of course, that's just some of what we've heard from the 12 members of parliament. We're still expecting many more after the lunch breaks when it comes at about 2:15, when parliament is expected to sit then, and we'll hear the rest of the 34 speakers and members of parliament that are to take to the stage here today.
And Aviwe, I mean, what was scary for me is that according to the Premier of the Western Cape, Alan Winde, we've only had 2 days of uninterrupted power in South Africa since September last year, over 1,000 days of power cuts. But also a little bit of another important thing that was said there, Aviwe, if you could just divulge more information. The EFF on the National Assembly Speaker, Nosiviwe Mapisa-Nqakula, they're saying that they are filing a motion of no confidence.
Yes, you understand there's even a myriad of issues in court this very moment. The ATM, of course, taking Parliament itself for that motion of no confidence that happened against President Cyril Ramaphosa in December. Remember, where there was that that parliamentary inquiry that looked into the Phala Phala saga. That was voted not to adopt the suggested inquiry by the panel here, and now the ATM is taking that decision to Parliament, saying that in fact it needed to happen in secrecy, the voting that was held in December, and of course it needed to be more transparent. But of course that is in the courts. First 2 days of the arguments that have been heard today, then that will be decided on another day, the outcome of it. But that's just one of the many issues that are coming out to the fore here, Maseko. And of course the majority of them will then hear from the rest of the speakers that are to speak here today and tomorrow, before the president then responds to those suggestions and the speakings that will be, we would have heard in the last 2 days.